Good morning, class. This is Sonal, your social science teacher. I hope you all are doing good. So, today we are going to discuss about some important things related to your revision exam. So, on 28, you will have your social studies exam from block 1 to 7 from volume 1. So, you need to follow some instructions and I will let you know that how you need to study for your test. So here are some instructions. You will get 25 questions for 25 marks in Schoolia app and you need to finish those questions in 25 minutes. And to prepare for your exam, you need to read each block properly and while reading, underline difficult words and important sentences, and you can make questions from the related paragraph that you read. In this way, you can practice better by making questions by yourself. You need to study from your content book, workbook and notebook, and check out did you know and glossary also of each block. And you can watch revision and discussion videos again to practice, and don't do your test in a hurry. Have patience and tick the correct option. Now let's overview all the blocks and their topics. So in block 1, studying history, we have these topics. And so why we study history? What is history? Studying about past is known as studying history, or study of the events of the past is called history. And we use different sources to study history. Sources tell us about the past event. For example, monuments, old books, folk tales, and different sources of history are material sources, written and oral sources. And you can see examples also. And why we need to study history? To know about past, to avoid the mistakes done in past, to get an idea about invention, and to know about our past generations. We study history and to learn life lessons. Now next block, sources of history. Here you can see all the topics, and we have different sources like monuments, artifacts like weapons, jewelry, tools, pots, statues and toys, and coins, written records like religious books, epics like Mahabharata and Ramayana, and records written by foreign visitors, and inscriptions. What are inscriptions? Writings which were engraved on rocks. And stories, songs and poems tell us about people's lives and events and family histories. And they are passed down orally from generation to generation, and these are called oral sources. And did you know of this block is the Great Bath at Mohenjo-daro is considered the earliest public bathing place of the ancient world. Next, block 3, discoveries in the past, and these are all the topics. So, how early human observed environment? They observed environment to make their survival easier, and they observe rainfall to know the suitable time for planting trees and for planting crops. And they found that ginger helped in curing cold and cough. And they discovered calendar by the appearance of moon, but successful calendar was based on the appearance of star Sirius. Egyptians counted and found the number of days between two appearances of Sirius was 365, and they made a calendar with 365 days because every year the star Sirius occurred or appeared at a fixed position, and this day occurred every year during the time river Nile was flooded with water, and the gap between these two occurrence of Sirius star is 365 days. And next is discovery of metals. They discovered metals to make utensils, tools and jewelry. And what is the correct order of metals in which they are discovered? They were discovered is copper. First copper was discovered, then gold, tin, bronze and iron. And alloy is formed when we mix two metals together. For example, when we mix tin and copper, so we get bronze. This is called alloy, mixing two metals and finding a new metal. Next is science and ancient India. Aryabhatta was an astronomer and mathematician, and he wrote science books, and he wrote books on mathematics. Sushruta was the first surgeon of India and in the world too. And Ayurveda is the Indian system of medicine. And did you know of this block is the Indian government honored Aryabhatta by naming its first satellite that was launched in 1975 after his name. Next is block 4, helping one another. Here are the topics. So, what are the qualities of a good neighbor? A good neighbor is respectful, polite, helpful and patient. And how can we help each other? By talking to them, offering them help, and by spending time with them. And people with special needs, we can help them by being friendly and kind. Try to play games in which they can participate, and help homeless by sharing food, give them things that you do no longer use. And some voluntary organizations also help homeless and needy people, like Red Cross is a voluntary organization, and Red Cross provide medical care and shelter, and UNICEF provide funds for the cause of children and women, and CRY work for poor and needy children, and HelpAge India is an organization that works for the elderly in India. And these organizations also set up medical camps while natural disasters like earthquake and tsunamis, and they save people from epidemics. Epidemics are diseases that spread fast and affect many. Next is block 5, living in a community. These are the topics. So why we live together in a community? It generates feeling of togetherness. We are dependent on others for their services. People feel safe together, and people have different skills which we can benefit from. We can divide one work so it saves time. That's why we together live in a community. And ant colony is a good example to know the importance of living in a community. And who is a leading expert in the world on ants and ant behavior? E.O. Wilson. It is in Did You Know of This block. And we can learn such things from an ant colony. Division of work helps to function properly. Every person should have some roles and responsibilities. To live in a community, we need to cooperate with others. And we should respect all kind of jobs. While many people don't respect jobs like sweeper and garbage collectors, but we should respect them because every job should be treated with respect, and it is important to appreciate people who work hard for us, and this is called dignity of labor, giving respect to all jobs and make others feel that their work is important. Now, block 6, motions of the earth, and here are all the topics. So, what about rotation of the earth? What do you know about rotation of the earth? So, earth spins on its axis. Axis is fixed, and earth spins from west to east. This spinning of the earth is called rotation. And here you can see an imaginary line that passes through the center of the earth. This is called axis. An imaginary line passes through the center of the earth from the north pole to the south pole, and it is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees, and this is known as tilt of the earth. Because of the tilt of the earth, the length of day and night is not same whole year. The length of the day and night changes in different seasons because of the tilt of the earth. And rotation of the earth causes day and night. The part of the earth that faces to the sun receives sunlight and has day, and the back side part will have night, that is not facing to the sun. And while during rotation, earth also moves around the sun. While rotation, earth spins on the same axis, on the same point. With rotation, earth also moves around the sun. This type of movement is called revolution. And because of revolution, seasons changes. And revolution takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete, and rotation takes 24 hours to complete and causes day and night, and revolution causes seasons. And revolution is also known as annual motion of the earth, and rotation also known as daily motion of the earth. So as the earth revolves around the sun, one hemisphere is tilted towards the sun and other is tilted away from the sun. So the hemisphere that is tilted towards the sun experiences summer, and the other part which is tilted away from the sun experiences winter. And in between there would be transitional seasons like autumn and spring. And there is a line in the center of the globe that divides the earth in two equal hemisphere or part. That line is known as equator. Equator divides the globe into equal parts. Upper part is known as northern hemisphere and lower part is known as southern hemisphere. And line above the equator is area, that is known as Tropic of Cancer, and line below the equator is known as Tropic of Capricorn. These are just names. We can easily know that this country is located in Tropic of Cancer and this country is located in Tropic of Capricorn with the help of these lines. And did you know of this block is the Chinese leap year has 13 months with a leap month added about every 3 years. Next is block 7. Realms or areas of the earth, and here are all the topics. So, why Earth is a unique planet? Because of availability of water, appropriate distance from the sun, availability of oxygen, ozone layer, and Earth supports life. And about 70% of the Earth is covered with water, and that's why Earth is also known as blue planet, because of the more amount of water it seems blue from the space. And atmosphere is a vast blanket of gas around the earth. It is a mixture of gases. In atmosphere 78% nitrogen is present, 21% oxygen is present, and other gases like argon, carbon dioxide, hydrogen and helium are also present. And it acts like a blanket for the earth and protects the earth from harmful rays of the sun. Next is biosphere. This is also an area of the earth. Bio means life and sphere is area. So biosphere is also known as life-giving zone. In biosphere, animals, plants, living beings, all living beings can survive. An atmosphere has a ozone layer that keeps us safe from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. Next is lithosphere and hydrosphere. So what do you know about lithosphere? Lithos means rocks and sphere means area. Or we can also say sphaira, which means sphere. So the rocky solid land that provide base to make houses and home for plants and animals and human beings is called lithosphere. And big part of lands on the earth are called continents. We have 7 continents: Asia, Europe, North America, South America, Australia, Antarctica and Africa. And about 29% of the total surface area of the earth is covered by the continents. And hydrosphere, hydro means water in Greek language. So all the water bodies represents hydrosphere, like oceans, seas, lakes. They together represents hydrosphere. And we have 5 major oceans in the world. You can read them: Atlantic Ocean, Pacific, Indian Ocean, Arctic Ocean and Southern Ocean. And Pacific Ocean is the biggest and Arctic Ocean is the smallest ocean. Next is layer of the earth. So outermost layer of the earth is crust and middle layer of the earth is mantle and innermost layer of the earth is core. And there are 2 layers. Core is divided into 2 layers, inner core and outer core. Inner core is like a solid ball and outer core is in liquid form. And temperature of mantle and core is very high. So this is about block 1 to 7. Be prepared for your exam. Take your time, follow all the instructions. Don't complete your test in a hurry. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section and revise all the blocks properly with workbook and notebook too. And if you have any doubt, please ask. Take care everyone. God bless.